Hi everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022, and this is not a sponsored video. This is just a picture from the free to use category of Unsplash. I just put it on here to begin the video, and I wanted to talk about the fact that there's so much misinformation these days, especially about allegedly lifting restrictions and mandates, whether it's in Canada or across the world, or specifically tonight I'm talking about within Alberta. And the Premier of Alberta, Kenny, known by quite a few people as Kenny Tastrophe, has a history, quite a long history, of saying one thing, promising one thing, and then doing the exact opposite. For example, saying that mandates and restrictions would end a long time ago, and of course they didn't, and promising that there would not be an injection passport QR code system put in place in Alberta, because he said, and this is on video and in print, can easily be verified, that any sort of passport system would be illegal. It would go against people's rights to privacy and so forth. And then he turned around and did it. Put in an injection passport system in Alberta. So you can't trust anything he says. And his own party could remove him at any time, but they won't. They haven't. In 2 years, the opposition could move to remove him, and they haven't. They've all gone along with it. That's not okay. And in all fairness, there have been 2 members of Legislative Assembly who have spoken up in the last 2 years that I've heard about. I've only heard of the 2. But that doesn't, shift things when there's only 2 people saying, hey, this is wrong. But Kenny and his special group have not lived by the restrictions they've put on everybody else, so it doesn't affect them, obviously, and they don't care. They've made that perfectly clear. Now, there are things like this from the counter signal Ken Bexty sent today that say that he is scrapping everything, the passports tonight. And Rebel News and others have reported the same thing. They say it's a huge victory, but it's not. If you look at this other one from tonight, let's see. This is from End the Lockdown. There are various organizations that in Alberta that have been trying to sue the government to end restrictions, and they're justice advocacy groups, lawyers groups, so I think they would know what's really going on. I think this one sums it up best. It says, Premier Kenny just announced that while some restrictions will be removed soon, all restrictions won't be removed until a date to be determined. Not good enough. In short, here's what's happening. Stage 1 means that the government's restriction exemption program is ending tonight at midnight, although entertainment venues will still face restrictions around closing hours, movement, masking, etc. Stage 2 might start next Monday and would mean mask requirements for children, and both in schools and in public. And here in Edmonton, Alberta, the City Council decided that children as young as 2, anyone 2 years of age and over, has to be masked. And yeah, we're expected to wear masks outside too. Then the government plans to pause for 3 weeks and wait to see what happens. If things go well, we would move on to Stage 3. Stage 3 means that other restrictions like capacity limits, gathering restrictions, indoor masking, and remaining limits on entertainment venues would be removed. Finally, at a date to be determined, remaining restrictions would be removed. Unfortunately, we've seen all this before. We've been promised, for almost 2 years, we've been promised reopening plans with stages, steps, phases, chapters, and such before, and none of them have actually been followed. Kenney has delayed, cancelled, or reneged on reopening plans so many times we have lost count. And that's perfectly true. This time he's not even denying it. He explicitly said that the government might have to pause some of these changes, which makes all the dates announced today meaningless. Once again, the government will make decisions over people's lives in an arbitrary manner based on the pressure that they come under from the media and unions, not based on what's right to protect Albertans' rights. Then there is this one from the Alberta Institute, who also should have some idea what's really going on. Let me see here. This is from yesterday. The government of Alberta will apparently announce a plan to begin lifting restrictions, perhaps starting with the injection passport. Some people have been interpreting this as the passport will end next week, but the government has not explicitly said this. They have only promised to lay out a phased plan. Whether they actually follow the plan or not is anyone's guess. And that's all any of us can do, is guess. Because we really don't know what's going on. We can't trust anything the politicians say. They've shown us they can't be trusted over the last 2 years. They've shown us repeatedly. So it's unclear if our basic human rights and our legal rights are going to be restored to us. And I'm not talking about the flawed Canadian Charter. I'm talking about the Canadian Bill of Rights that is still in effect, and it grants us our basic rights that are given to us by God. So says the Bill of Rights, but the Charter took God out of it, and it shows. So as for people saying what's going on in Alberta, nobody in Alberta, except for the fat cat politicians, have any clue what's going on. This has never been about the science. As we watch a lot of the rest of the world open up, Alberta and Canada are just doubling down on us, as they say. Thanks for watching.